What does it look like to be deeply rooted in Christ in a world of cultural chaos? Welcome to the Equip Podcast. I'm Mark Vance, the lead pastor at Cornerstone Church of Ames, and each week we want to look at core biblical truths that will equip you to live a life of faithfulness, to be salt and light wherever Jesus has called you.
We're back with the Equip Podcast. Mark Vance, Emily Jensen, and I'm excited about this episode because we're talking about preparing for summer, which I would like to say is almost the best time of the year in Iowa, maybe just short of September and October.
I think September, October, that's my vote in Iowa.
But
you know that.
Summer's pretty good.
Summer's great. And so if you said preparing for summer, I don't know if I'm excited about this episode. Maybe I am, but I am excited for summer. I love the summertime.
Amen.
It's
yes.
great.
If it can get here, I hope we have no more snow before that happens. But
there's no guarantees in Iowa.
Yes. The main thing we want to feature today, along with lots of other good tips, is the launch of new spiritual workout plan.
We got the verse memory bands here, Emily, which are very enjoyable summer colors. They're going to match outfits. They're going to be incredible. Yeah. We got the paper of the plan. I mean, this is good.
Yeah, whoever designs this always does a fabulous job of thinking about what colors fit the season.
Shout out to Lawson there because he's crushing the design fit. Yeah.
I love it. And so this is really similar to the other spiritual workout plans that we've done. So it's going to start in May, go through the end of August, which fits perfectly with most people's schedules. And we're going through the New Testament again. Yep. And certain selections from the Old Testament.
Another rep in the New Testament. And then what you have on Old Testament side for this one is we're going through, so when you divide the prophetic literature of the Old Testament up, you typically will go majors and minors or like the big three. So this is the big three if you're doing the Old Testament walkthrough, which is Isaiah, Jeremiah, and Ezekiel. Those are the major prophets. And then you kind of do the 12, which are the more minor sorts of the prophets. So Old Testament will be that. It will help people, especially in the Old Testament reading. I want to just exhort you. If you are trying to do the major prophets and do them well, the Bible Project videos and a good study Bible with an outline, it's incredibly helpful because there's so much literature and it's like compiled in unusual ways. You need to kind of see how the compilation comes together. Yeah. That would be a help for your Old Testament side.
I know we've talked about this before, but one thing I love about the spiritual workout plan is that it's not a year-long reading plan, but it allows you to go through so much faster. And I'm someone who kind of can lose my attention span a little bit after a while. I would prefer to just plow through. But one of the biggest benefits I found from this last time of reading through it was just all the connections I saw because you are reading sometimes an entire New Testament letter. You're reading multiple in a week. And so then after I've read through James and 1 Peter and 2 Peter and 1 John and 2 John, I'm like, whoa. There's all these things that build upon each other and these concepts that are overlapping. And so for me, it's just really helped big themes jump out. Yeah. So if the Lord is working on an area of my heart, I feel like this read through it was sin. And, then I go into James and it's like, okay, if you know the thing you ought to do and you don't do it, for you it is sin. And then, you get into 1 Peter and it's like, what was the verse that stuck out to me? I want to say it was like 1 Peter 4 and he talks about like whoever has suffered in their body for Christ is finished with sin. Yeah. Okay, well, there was one I read this morning. It was in 1 John. Whoever goes on making a practice of sinning. And I was just, I am just like, okay, Lord. But is there anything that jumped out for you this time?
So, my big takeaway this time was the memory verse bands.
Yes.
So again, the point of the spiritual workout plan, there's different approaches to Bible reading plans. We're doing foundational reading, which is more New Testament, longer chunks, because trying to lay a foundation, right?
Yes.
But I had gotten out of the habit over the years of memorizing scripture. I think I started as a little kid in Awanas, approved workmen are not ashamed, shout out, you know who you know if you're in Awanas. But these memory bands have been really, really good for me.
Yeah.
I just needed a little push to have something in front of me. And so it's been really rich to me. I've actually kept this one from James 1, 2, and 3. Just that opening phrase, consider it a great joy. my brothers and sisters, whenever you experience various trials. And I think, I need to, I have been musing on that a lot. And so just having the little push to build Bible memory, that for me has been really, really good.
It is so good. And then you can bring it to mind throughout the day. And I know sometimes when I get that verse stuck in my head, then all of a sudden it's popping up everywhere. And the Lord is helping making it practical for the very moment. Yeah, we've been studying through Proverbs with the women's groups this spring. And something that comes to mind often is like, we often want to know what to do, but it's not as complicated as we want it to be. We just need that truth in front of our eyes so that we can
walk in wisdom.
Apply it to the moment. So let's think a little bit about how summer fits into the seasons of the year. I feel like seasons is on the forefront of everyone's mind right now. You're preaching through seasons of life. Each season of the year seems to lend itself towards different things spiritually. Like Lent is a time of reflection. I love winter for me is often a time of reading, being a little bit more restful. I have a little bit more prayerful. And then summer is get outside and be with the people.
Absolutely.
So how do you view summer as far as it fits in kind of this spiritual workout plan?
So there's different emphasis to different seasons, right? And so we're at Cornerstone looking at seasons of life. I would want to admonish people out there, if you've noticed one of the threads through all of the seasons, starting out in the spring of life when you're a youth, build godly friendships, okay? Now let's come over to the summer of life. Prioritize God's church and God's people. Keep godly friendships going. You're going to come in and you're going to have looked at the autumn, the fall of life, and learning to lead with it in 40s and 50s. What is it? Appoint a board of directors who give godly counsel for your life. Okay, so every season of life, you are not an individual entity. You're part of a larger community. And so I just think summer, there's something about the nighttime, it's nicer. You should grill out. So I think barbecue, back porch, friends. And please don't, so people are like, well, it's not deep and spiritual. It's wildly spiritual. We live in a disembodied world, and I want to have an embodied summer. I want to be with real people in real places eating real barbecue. And so I would emphasize, enjoy God's good gifts, get outside, get the sunlight, but do it with people. Make this summer a step toward people, particularly in your life. And maybe a little push would be, if you're in their 40s and 50s, I gave a task inside of the call of that Leading with Wisdom Sunday to reset the vision of your life and appoint a board of directors to oversee that, which involves your spouse as the chairman of the board and some friends and all those things. It would be actually a great summertime task to have written out a punch list of some vision for your life and to get those people together and in the backyard with a barbecue, get some input on that. And I think that would be a really helpful spiritual start.
I love that. Summer also makes me think about evangelism. Oftentimes we are around people at the pool or at sports or just bumping into people at the farmer's market that we don't see. And so that's something I'm like, how can I make more intentional connections with people that I went, from November to March and I did not really see at all, or you're bundled up and you're walking so quickly in and out of, a basketball game that you're not going to stop and connect meaningfully. And the other thing for us is kind of being still somewhat in that summer season of parenting, saying, hey, when the kids are off school, how can we use these 3 months to talk to them about things that maybe we don't have as much time during the school year to sit down. So I know that's something Brad and I are going to do, before the end of the year is what are some topics financially we want them to know about? What are some life topics, some marriage topics, working hard things that we can take, maybe lunch or maybe it's, after dinner to try to talk a little bit more intentionally.
I love the idea of even just putting your kids to work a little bit in the summer.
Oh, yeah.
Make them be out mowing the lawn, make them do things. It's a sweaty season. Let's do that. This summer for me will be a summer of transition.
Okay.
Because we're moving Owen out of the house into the
dorms. That's
right. Right? And so this is for us a reflective summer where we're kind of looking backward, looking forward, having all the feels. And so inside of that, I just feel this I want to launch him well type of thing. So I have some intentional conversations inside of that that I just want to make sure to do. And I love, so as a dad, here's my teenage kid hack for great conversations is shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah.
Is as good or more effective than face to face. Sometimes they're good for, hey, let's get a coffee and sit down and look face to face. But most of the time, if you can, it is both that intentional face to face and the shoulder to shoulder as we're going, as we're playing a round of golf, as we're working in the yard. Hey, what do you think about that?
Yeah.
Don't discount that. And so with people, come with me. That phrase, just, hey, come, I'm going to do this. Come with me. That invitation for summer, I would want to put a high spiritual emphasis on that.
Wonderful. Well, let's just troubleshoot a little bit because summer can sometimes be wonky for people's schedules, and church seems to take a pause on things that maybe provide natural accountability, right? Like men's group and women's groups and youth, and SALT is not, you go through all of that. People are going on vacations. They're staying out late. And so maybe their morning quiet time, well, we're not going to call it a quiet time, but their time to read their spiritual workout plan gets disrupted. Do you have some tips for us to troubleshoot this season?
Well, I think what you want to have is anchored rhythms that don't change.
Okay.
So the first one, I have I don't know, this is going to sound silly, but I kind of get up at the same time. I do the same green drink, coffee, breakfast thing, read my Bible, pray. So what I do is I lock in an anchor, and I do that everywhere I am. If I'm traveling to do something for church, or if I'm on vacation, or every day I have little anchors that are unchanging realities to my life, morning, noon, and evening.
Yeah.
So build some habitual rhythms that are just absolutely not variable anchors to everything in life. I think that holds you. Build some habitual relationships that I don't need a men's group to connect with this person.
Yeah.
So I think you want to pursue, when you have a little bit more flexibility and variability, pursue the deeper core relationships that you need to build inside of that time. But the other side is I need actually the variety. I think everybody needs that a little bit, Emily. It's part of why I love that my kids have youth group every week. It's kind of nice to have 4 weeks where it's hey, let's just have dinner and hang out.
I totally agree.
The variability, just seize on it and appreciate it. It doesn't have to be filled with activity. It can just be filled with, hey, let's chill and play a board game. I love that summer is supposed to be fun. I grew up as a kid, Emily, my favorite holiday still is, to this day, favorite by far, is July 4th. I love July 4th. I think because I just get a kick out of just
it's a holiday for the pyros.
Yeah, how we it's so American.
Yes, it is.
We celebrate our independence by just blowing up money. And I think I don't know why we chose these methodologies, or just the loud parade where it's just so loud. Why do we put all the fire trucks in and think, hey, we've got everyone here. Let's just let it rip on all the sirens.
Let's also send the kids in with lighters.
Yeah, it was just there's something that I just delight in everything about it, in its randomness and all that. Summer, that epitomizes summer to me. It doesn't have to be perfectly structured. It's just a season of joy and enjoyment. And so cultivate joy and gratitude. The sun is out. The weather is good. Enjoy that. God gives these things to us as good gifts to enjoy. And so in those seasons of enjoyment, rather than beating yourself up out of not being in perfect rhythmic whatever, just step back and go, I was grateful today. Let every day be a day full of gratitude. Let every day be a day full of joy. And I think the summer is really profitable spiritually. Here's the other thing I'll say. I actually really like the little extra space, because I'm like a book nerd, obviously. And so one thing I do often in the summers is I pick a book or two that are going to be my summertime deep read.
Yeah.
I have found that helpful. So you can rather than doing a women's Bible study or men's Bible study, maybe just do a backyard book club. You don't need Cornerstone to organize that. If you want a prompt on it, the spiritual workout plan has a couple books it recommends. Honest to goodness, though, just pull something up that you think is amazing. Read Tolstoy or something. I realize I'm nerding there. I get it. Dostoevsky, Crime and Punishment. Let's work through the Russian novels. Why did I go there? I don't know why, but it's just in my head. I'm like, I'd like to read Dostoevsky again. And so, maybe pick a book that you're intrigued by. You hear something about it and go, oh, The Vanishing American Doll by Ben Sass. That's an interest. I wonder about that. And just get together with some buddies and have a meaningful discussion about something.
Yeah.
I think because of the variability and flexibility, there's some opportunity to just have fun and do some of that stuff. So seize on that and enjoy it. And here's the last summer recommendation, I think, for joy. Ride your bike down the High Trestle Trail.
I love
We
that.
live in central Iowa. If you've never done that, if you don't want to do the long ride, where you ride like Sheldall or Ankeny in, that's like pretty long, 20 plus, just go park. There's like a little park and ride spot in Madrid. It's like 3.5 miles from there to the High Trestle, and then back. So like a 6 mile to 7 mile round trip. There's an ice cream shop along the way if you feel so inclined.
Yeah.
But it's just a beautiful ride. And people talk about how Iowa's not beautiful. And I'm like, that's super beautiful. Des Moines River Valley. Just go do it. It's great.
Yeah.
So there's a summertime tip. Ride the High Trestle.
I love that. No, everything you said is so helpful. And I just love the idea of like summer is a chance to delight in God's good gifts and to creatively find ways to like continue learning about him, growing in him. And I also appreciate what you said about keeping those rhythms and those anchors that are kind of these non-negotiable daily things. I know that's something Brad and I have been talking about lately, because sometimes I'll try to build in things that are like, I'm going to do this Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm going to do this Saturday, Sunday. And I just fail because I'm like, okay, do it Monday. I'll do it Tuesday.
Yeah.
And so for the last couple months, I have literally just been like, this is just every day, non-negotiable. And weirdly, it happens. It is easier for me to do something every single day at the same time than it is for me to do something twice a week or once a week. So I definitely think this is possible. This is possible for crazy busy people. And if you're not doing it, you're missing out.
Absolutely.
Because it is an absolute delight day over day over day to see how it builds and the Lord is working in your heart. It's so good.
Pick up these memory bands, Emily, or pick up the spiritual, and then you reward yourself at the end of the week with a trip to the Iowa State Creamery. Another hot tip for summer. Iowa State Creamery, if you've never been. It's a hidden gem in Ames.
Okay.
But it's really hard to find. That's hidden in like one of these life science buildings. Great ice cream.
Okay.
Genuinely great. They had sweet corn on the cob.
Oh, I love it.
And I thought, this is Iowan. This is Iowan. Right
this
here.
is Iowan.
That's right. So if you memorize this, you can treat yourself summer. Let's do it.
Treat yourself summer. Memorize the word and then go get ice cream.
That's right.
All right. Thanks, Mark.
You bet.